Previously, the first match of the Neo-Egoist League Bastard Munchen vs FC Barcha was about to kick off. As the FC Barcha players walked onto the field, we could see Bachira and Otoya becoming starting players. Isagi, who saw this, felt motivated to continue fighting, even though he had to spend time on the bench due to not being selected as a starting player. It didn't make him despair. He is determined to prove his worth in the Neo-Egoist League soon. The match kicks off with Kaiser passing the ball to Ness. Ness quickly did a screen looking for a teammate who was freely positioned to receive the ball, while two Barcha players tried to block him, but with his brilliance, he was still able to make a backspin pass between the Barcha players with precision to Grim, who ran to open up space on the left side of the field. Grim managed to receive the ball, and while making use of the sidelines, he used his brute strength and physicality to break through the opponent's defense. He passed the ball over the crowd toward the far side of the field, where in that spot, Eric Gessner trapped the ball perfectly. And then he continues to cut his way into the crowd, and with a series of fine touches, he outwitted the Barcha players with his delicate dribbles. Gessner targeted the box, and despite the defenders surrounding him, he delivered a perfectly timed lob pass to Kunigami. And at that moment Kaiser took advantage to sneak in between the defenders. Kaiser was in a perfect position to receive the ball, but Kunigami chose to hold the ball to his chest and forcefully keep the ball. Then he advanced towards goal and shot with his right leg. The ball went at an incredible speed. However, the Barcha goalkeeper reached it in time and made the save. The super egoist play shown by Kunigami surprised Isagi. Then he complimented him by saying, he evolved drastically, boosting all his physical abilities. And now he can score a goal from anywhere on the field by himself. A perfect striker without any weaknesses. This is the survivor of the wild card, the new Kunigami Rensuke. The ball was still in play, and the Barcha players were about to counter. But as Kunigami was running back, Ness stopped him. Ness asked him what he was trying to do, and if only he had passed to Kaiser before, they would have scored. Your irrational play with little hope of scoring has no place in this team. Kunigami didn't give a shit and declared that he would follow his own way of dominance. He told Ness to bark at another tree and called him a parasite. This made Ness upset. He pulled Kunigami back and told him with a smile that the violation of loyalty to Kaiser was his first yellow card. Now it's time for Barcha to counter, and with the ball on the midfield line, Bachira gets his chance to attack and show off his skills. Bachira is sure that he will be able to get past all his opponents, which is not without reason considering that all Blue Lock players have the same training system in their respective teams. We go into a flashback and go back to 10 days earlier. As Bachira and the other Blue Lock players chose Spain, they joined the Barcha team under the master striker, Levino. Levino is a laid-back kind of guy who doesn't know how to teach football in a verbal way, yet he tells all Blue Lock players to copy and combine techniques to develop his original style. Because he thinks football is all about improvisation and about stealing rhymes to one that pleases you. Since FC Barcha is a team that focuses on technique and creativity in football, Levino advised all his players to use their own way of expressing their imagination of what kind of football they want to play. After gaining a new determination, Bachira trained hard every day to improve his physical body, and meditation training to improve his imagination to get the visuals he wanted. At that moment, Bachira went to see Levino, and he told him about his imagination, which he called his monster, and then he asked for advice on how he could become stronger. Levino then said that Bachira should evolve the monster to the next level. The monster was his own guide to his originality and would lead him to the spot of the world's best. Back to the match. At that moment Bachira's dribbling skills brilliantly destroyed the defender. Seeing that Igarashi and Hiyori were amazed. But while Isagi was focused on something else, he said that he felt Bachira's dribbling posture had changed. He moved the ball with his feet almost always attached to the ball, even though his touch on the ball moved very little from his center of gravity. His upper body doesn't move forward but his feet don't let go of the ball, which makes his next movement extremely difficult to predict. Another player from Bastard Munchen tried to stop Bachira. He was impatient and decided to move in to steal the ball. But because of that, he was easily demolished with Bachira's new dribbling style, the Ginga X Monster. Then another threat arose as Kunigami came to stop him. Before they faced off, Bachira told Kunigami that it was good to see him again, but Kunigami immediately charged and said that he would take the lead. Bachira tried to break away from him with some dribbles, but Kunigami kept following him. Bachira then increased the tempo of his pace and with a double touch, he managed to beat him. But the threat didn't end there as now Grimm and Gessner came together to stop him. But with a quick response, Bachira gave a beautiful back heel pass to Ignacio on the left side, and he continued with a pass to Otoya in the box. The ball fell to Otoya's heel and he used it to continue the series of attacks and passed to Bachira who was at his side. Bachira jumped up and scored a wonderful goal which brought FC Barcha 1 goal ahead. Otoya and Ignacio came over to Bachira and celebrated the goal, all looking so happy. From the bench, Isagi watched and analyzed the previous match. Bachira's dribbling was definitely different from before. Simply put, he just did whatever he wanted and kept attacking like a child. But now it's different. He waits for opponents, and he learned to make a more adult-like choice in a way. Also, his dribbling range has tremendously increased. With that in mind, Isagi understood what Jinpachi had said before. Isagi had to learn the environment he had chosen, which was Bastard Munchen. The team's style is rationality. Judging from the series of plays earlier, they basically cut off every unnecessary move and got in front of the goal by using the shortest possible distance. And the rule to let the finisher, Kaiser, score all the goals. With this, Isagi concluded that all he has to do is prove that he exists in the Bastard Munchen team. Isagi did not want his fate to be like Kunigami, who was ignored by his own teammates because he chose to ignore the system and rationality of the team. Isagi was determined to keep observing the match so that he could find the piece to beat Kaiser. Restart. Kaiser passed the ball to Ness and he immediately moved forward without the ball past the opposing players to look for the right position to receive the ball. Meanwhile, with his flexibility and ankle technique, Ness kept the ball in his possession while waiting for Kaiser, who was breaking through the defense, to get into the right position to score. Observing the ongoing attack scheme, Isagi realized that Kaiser's movements hadn't had a single wasted second. Moving as bait, positioning to receive the ball, breaking out for a shooting course, and his distance to teammates, it's probably because of the play style aiming for efficiency. In other words, Kaiser's movement is the ideal embodiment of the Isagi movement. Ness shoots his cross, and of course, the ball goes to Kaiser, who is already in the best spot. However, it wasn't as easy for Kaiser as he thought, as Bachira was now behind him and set to intercept the ball. Kaiser takes his hand and tries to push him back, but Bachira is still holding on. The ball goes down and Kaiser starts off with a fake out which disturbs their movements. In the split second that he had the chance, he used his Kaiser impact to shoot the ball into the goal, the ball flying so fast that the goalkeeper had no chance to react. And with that, he made a score. Isagi was surprised to see Kaiser impact and said he is a genius. Realizing the true meaning of a weapon, his view of the field has completely changed. Then Noah said that right foot kick of his that uses all of his body at once to execute, he's the fastest in the world when it comes to the swing. That is the one thing in which he beat Noah. Isagi admiring Kaiser's impact. He thinks he's been wrong about everything. The foundation of Bastard Munchen's hyper-rationality is not the players around him. Kaiser's ability itself is the philosophy of the team. If all the goals are scored with Kaiser impact, absolute rationality without any inefficiency would be created in the team. Jinpachi mentioned before, that an original striker with an overwhelming 0-1 is here. Kaiser is the embodiment of Blue Lock's ideals of having the world's best quantities. On the other hand, seeing the match made Levino's blood boiling, and he decided to join the match, and without thinking, he hurriedly took off his jacket and walked onto the field. Star change system on. Levino used his 3 minutes to play. Noah didn't want the match to be unbalanced, so he decided to join the game. The two master strikers were seen facing and insulting each other. After that, Noah turns to Kunigami and asks to hear his theory, saying that to fight on this team, one of the options in the attacks is centralized with Kaiser. And if you don't want to do that, then you will have to show that your abilities surpass Kaiser's. Noah then turns to the players and says that the opposite of chance is a pinch, and if you miss the chance that's in front of you, you will then fall into a pinch which is equal to a missed opportunity. However, Kunigami managed to fail in both of them, and would be substituted by a better player, who was none other than Isagi Yoichi. This decision made Yukimiya angry and he asked Noah to give an explanation, because in the ranking of training he was better than Isagi, and then Noah said, "It's fan service. The world wants Isagi Yoichi. That is the contract. Get in here quickly, Blue Lock's hero." Hearing this made several Blue Lock players surprised and envious. Isagi, who didn't want to waste his chance to play with Noah, without hesitation immediately opened his jacket and said that he was coming. With the opportunity to debut in the Neo-Egoist League, Isagi was determined to prove himself worthy of the world stage. Now both teams are making substitutions. For Bastard Munchen, Noah and Isagi came in. Kunigami and Gessner sit on the bench. For FC Barcha, Lara is replaced by Levino. So what will happen next? How was Isagi's debut in the Neo-Egoist League? Thanks for watching. Peace.